the stack. Okay, and how we identified the stack? So we said dash g, we created an file, then we said gdb dot slash a dot out. If I write L, I would be able to see my program. So this was my program. Main was calling ABC. ABC was further calling PQR, and PQR is having printf function. And so there should be call and return kind of stuff that should happen. Fine. So if I write now breakpoint main run, and then you say step. Okay, so you write BT first. BT is meant for backtrace. Okay, so if you want help BT, so you can see what exactly it is. A print backtrace of all stack frames, innermost or innermost count frames. Fine, and then you will get information about this. Okay, so let us say BT. So we got only one. So we'll start execution, run, and we say step. So we are with first declarations, which is a local variable. So step. Now we are getting first call. So before that first call, only one stack is there. So you again say step. Now it entered into, like you may see, it was in main. Sorry, it was in main here at line number 6. Now it jumped to this ABC call. Okay. So now if I write BT, you may see like how the stacks are created. Correct. So now your main would be shifted, and now ABC is at the top because that is the current function that we are processing. Now when we say again step, because now we are in ABC, so when I say step, you will see there is a call for PQR. So if I write BT, only 2 stacks. Now if I say step, and if I write BT, now you may see the code is it PQR. Correct. Earlier code was in ABC. So if I write BT, now there would be 3 stacks. PQR would be at the top, and then ABC, because PQR was called by ABC, ABC was called by intern main. Correct. Okay, so if I continue execution, so like it will print the stack. Sorry, it will print the statement, what is the string that you gave. So if you write BT again, because we are still in PQR. Okay, so when we say step, we are coming out of PQR now. Control is going back to ABC. Okay, so that's what it says. Control is back to ABC. So if I write BT, you can see only 2 stacks. Now when I execute last statement of ABC, control again is back to main. So if I write say step, and if I write BT, now only main is there. Now when I'm executing this return statement, so step. Okay, now this would be last statement. Now I'm still in main. Now when I execute this last statement from main, which is this curly bracket, then control is given back to the original function which gave call to main. So main was given call. If I write now BT, main was given call by this function, and this function was called by this underscore start. That is the reason why, if you recall, I said that a dot out would be getting executed, or the file that is created using GCC as an ELF32 or ELF64 file. The first function which gets executed from that executable is start, and from program point of view, it would be main. Okay, but executable point of view, it is underscore start. So now if I say again step, everything will be done. So program, it says exited normally. Correct. So it came out of this. That's what it is, single stepping until exit from function, and then which comes out. So if I write BT, now as program is not in memory, so it says no stack. Now what are the functions that you write in a C code? For all such functions, okay, for each such function, there would be a stack frame generated. Okay, our internal stack is added in the existing stack. So towards the end, like when you execute a big program, for example, if let us say we are executing this Microsoft Teams software now through Linux. Now what is happening is like that Microsoft Teams software is getting executed. What are the code that is available with Microsoft Teams? That code must have created multiple such stack frames. Correct? Multiple such stack frames. Now each stack frame, until the function scope is there, like when that function is in scope under execution, till that time the stack would be available. When the function is over, or execution of that function is over, when last statement of that function gets executed, control would be returned back to the function which was calling this function. So that means there was a function which is caller and there was a function which is callee, which is called. Okay, so in this case, ABC was calling PQR. So ABC was caller and PQR was callee. Correct. So similarly, like for every such function, a stack frame would be created. Now you may say like why it hasn't shown us that printf thing. Printf was executed in library because it is a library function. This GDB only will permits us to see the stacks created for user functions. Main itself is a user function because we are writing that function. Until unless we write it, nothing will happen. So main would be standard, function name would be by the system, but body would be written by an individual programmer. Correct? That's what you are writing, that function body. And that's why we say underscore start would be first function which gets executed from executable point of view, but program point of view, it would be executing main function. So I assume now it is clear to you all. Yes. Any question, query about this? Yeah, Rohit.
So from only like executing side only, sir, like start.
See, ABC is calling PQR. Correct? In our code, like if you see, if I write L, ABC is calling PQR. Now when ABC is calling PQR, then ABC should preserve its own elements and earlier elements too. So earlier elements are protected by main. Correct?
Yeah.
Now ABC should protect its own. So what it does, it doesn't permit PQR to make use of ABC stack. So what it says, whenever PQR is getting executed, a stack frame should be created. And this instruction is added while creating an executable. This information is added over there that OK, create the frame. Now that stack size may vary depending upon how many local variables you have. Now when I write a function, say for example like this, suppose my function call was like this, 12, 23, 34, 56. Now how many parameters are there in this case? With assumption that ABC is a function with 3 parameters. I'm using 3 parameters, correct? Now each such parameter should be added in the stack because that's what we are sending to PQR. Sorry, we are sending to ABC function call. And ABC would be getting executed with these 3 values. So these 3 values also would be available on the stack before calling ABC. I should push these values before calling ABC here because these would be from main scope. And when they go there, like you must have heard about something called as keyword parameters. Okay, or even some terms like say for example positional parameters. What you call the parameters for the function to be? What kind of parameters are they?
Formal parameters.
Formal parameters, correct? So now when what might be the reason to call it as formal parameter?
Because it getting the value from a main or starting.
Okay, it is only just to communicate, correct? It is only meant for just to communicate to the function which is called that yes, I'm sending these 3 values for your parameters. So please adjust with them in the order that is sent by me. So that's why they are also might be referred. Can we make the change in the order of the parameters? Suppose I, J, K are 3 parameters for my ABC. Now while I'm calling, I'm passing K, J and I. Do I pass that way? No.
Yes, sir.
No, I do always pass with respect to I, J, K, correct? From left to right. Do I change order of parameters? Can I change the order of parameters?
But sir, it only taking the value now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but this Like if I is first parameter, j is second, and k is third, then this 23 should be associated with I only, na?
Yes,
Or
sir.
no?
But, sir, the condition is the I is a global variable now. If it is a local variable, then it doesn't matter.
Sir. What I'm saying is this is the parameter that no, don't talk about this code. I'm not talking about this code. I'm talking about a function ABC which is having integer I, integer j, and integer k as values.
Okay, okay. Then yes.
Okay. In
Yes,
that case, this 23 would be associated with I, j, or k.
yes, sir.
Correct? That's what I'm saying. So this association would be there in respect of order of the parameters. Now what can happen is sometimes your function or a subroutine may permit with respect to the positions. Like here I am referring this by I. Now what is this I for you? In this case, for example, let me remove this now. What is this I here for you? This I is what?
Variable, sir.
Variable. Okay.
Local
What is
variable.
main?
Function.
Function.
What is ABC?
Function call.
So if I don't see these brackets, will I still call ABC as function?
No.
No.
No. I'm only telling its type. The way that I said I is integer. This ABC also is a function. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Am I right?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
if it is the case, main, I, ABC, PQR, what are the global variables that we declared earlier? Each one of them, even this J, K, M, N, O, P, each one of them is referred as identifier. When time comes to discriminate between them, like, okay, what kind of variable they are, then we do talk about type of it. Now type would be based on the values they are holding. And when I'm talking about type of it, I'm not talking about values. I'm talking about categorization, that J, K till P are global variables. I is local variables. Main is a function. ABC is a function. PQR is a function. Correct? Now, when this information goes to the code, goes to the executable. So if I say they all are identifiers, can I call them as symbols? They are just symbols representing a label probably. So maybe in this case, my main could be a label. This J could be a label. K could be a label. M could be a label. On what basis I am saying this? Let me show you. So we created this file. So instead what I will do is I will write here -s, which generates your .s file. Now if you see, you can see that this is a label. That's how you write in assembly, a label, correct? Even you may see your main function. Main also is a label. Everything is categorized now as a label. Then it talks about type. Yes, this is object. This is function. Correct. And we never see that information for our variable I. So this J is type object. K is type object. M is type object. Correct. This main is a function which is added here and which is the global. And even you may see global is added there by writing globl. So this information is passed from my source code to the executable. So how exactly it is passed? So then we have to introduce one term which you must have heard called symbol table. Have you heard symbol table? Have you heard symbol table? Some of you must have who did probably bachelor's from Maharashtra in computer science.
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure about BCA whether they do have a course called system programming or not, but yes. Now this symbol table is really important. This symbol table holds information about all symbols which are not local. When I say local, defined by the user, local variable defined by local symbols defined by the user. Information about all symbols. Now how can I get it? Okay, let us see how can we get it. So if let me create an executable again. So my executable got created. So let me introduce, like I assume you had a course of your mathematics, MOC2, correct? Some of the students must have realized that it is numerical methods, kind of, correct? Whatever you learned in your bachelor's probably with respect to mathematics course, it was kind of NM for you. So let me introduce a new utility for you called NM. So man NM. So what it says, list symbols from object file. Now we saw already the mechanism. Dot C is taken by preprocessor, generates dot I. Dot I is taken by compiler, generates dot S. Dot S is taken by assembler, gas internally, generates dot O. This dot O is given to linker, which in turn generates your executable. Now each of this phase that we have would be adding some information, extra information every time. So dot I, when a process is passed from first phase, some information should be communicated to second phase that yes, I am done with first. After second is done, when it passes to third, then it says okay, second is done. Some information should be added and so on. And that is the reason why, if you see, my code earlier was this, correct? And dot out and hopefully dot O. Yeah, so let me generate dot O. Now see the size of each of them. Dot C. Even let me write that M30 save temps. It would be better. See the size change. It was 207. Then dot I contained 300. Dot S got 2373. Then some optimization was done internally to generate dot O 1804, and then suddenly you got this 15760. See, it is nearly how many times? 500 times. Or 50 times. It seems 50 times the original source code. Nearly. Or from I, nearly 50 times. Now, when we do talk about this, let me see now how exactly I can get that information. So man nm, list symbols from object files. So let me write nm. Let me first write my object code. What can you see here? Let us see this. ABC, JKM, main, NOP, then PQR, then printf, then we don't have this information. Correct? Now when the object code is created, does it know what is printf? No, that's why you may see this U undefined. This T tells text section. This D tells you that it is data section. So let us maybe edit the course, edit the program. And now I am removing this assignment for J declaration. Okay, let me create one more time this and let me see this object code. Can you see changes there with C? Sorry, J. Have you identified that? Okay, let me show you. If I assign value, when I don't have any value here, it showed C. Okay, now if I generate this, so let me generate simply object code for a while so that now you may see this is containing D. Okay, now when we had it as undefined or uninitialized, it had C. So it is trying to distinguish between the variables too. Correct. So it means they are a part of data section, but this doesn't seem to be initialized. So it might be representing something. So let us try to understand what are these symbols mean for us. Now let us see this. C, we saw this C. Common symbols are uninitialized data. Okay. Let us go further. We saw D. The symbol is in initialized data section. Let us go further. We saw capital T. The capital T is the symbol in the text section. Capital U, the symbol is undefined. Okay, so this information is also added with our uh, object code. Now, if I see the same thing for my executable, which I saw now for an object code. So if I see the same thing for my executable, now number of variables would be much more. Correct. Now let us go up for a while. Everything would be added. This is your block starting with symbol BSS. That's why that capital B, and then D, then W, and so on. So multiple things. You may see this was meant for the stack to get generated. So this is stack frame dummy function, which calls or which executes the mechanism which permits creating stack for every function call. Correct? For every function call. When I go below, I can see that all variables are added there. The printf is U because it doesn't have any idea. Libc start main, as it is not executed, that's why U. This is for start because text section. So these many symbols are added. But when we do talk about symbol table must be collection of symbols only created by the programmer. How can I get that from executable? So this only symbols which are sent in an object code or in an executable. So if I write man_num, it tells you list symbols from object files. Similarly, if I talk about the concept of symbol table, how can I get information about that file? Now see, suppose you wish to apply for a company, an organization through the placement cell. You give only resume, and like at that time of interview, you may be asked to provide documents if it is a physical document. So you give one by one each thing. Outside of it, when you submit only resume, they assume that everything is quite okay, whatever you have written, because you are writing, I have verified the details and I am sure that all information provided by me is correct. So that's what was said. But when we really started watching what exactly are the contents of it, then we do go with this mechanism. Now, with respect to this readelf command that we saw, can I use this even to get information of the symbols? Yes. Let us see this. -s. Now let me write readelf -s and my file name. Now let me write, sorry, less. Now this is your symbol table, symtab. And then you will see your variables added there. Now see how big symbol table is. And these are your elements. Think of this N, J, O, M, K, your main, and so on. So each one of them will have size to be 4 because you declared it as integer. Now what if I declare it as character? So let us do that. So Emacs my code .c. So let me declare a variable char ch, and I am not initializing it. Okay, so let us assemble this. Sorry, let us compile this. So we got everything. Now if I write nm our code .o, so you will see ch added, and that C is added again. Correct. Now I cannot see what is the size of this. So like if I see these are the addresses, it started from 0. First variable requires 4 bytes. That's why next variable started at 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next is 8. 8, 9, 10, 8, 9. Okay, then A, then B for this M. Then N would be at C. Then C, sorry, D, sorry, C, D, E, F. Then would be 1, 0. That's why this 1, 0. 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. Next is 1, 4. Correct. If I talk about this size of main, I don't know right now how many bytes are taken, but PQR would be starting at 47. That means 0 to 46. That means 47 should be the size. So if I try to get that information from my symbol, so let me go to main and try to see what is size of main. It says 43. Correct. But your function's PQR starts at 47. That means between 44, 45 and 46, something is stored. I always say this. I always use this statement. Few things would be there for which we are not eligible to see the values. That means generally it is said age barrier. Age barrier is there. You are not age 18 to see this kind of, for example. So it might be trying to tell you, like if I wish to show you few things, only the things which could be easily available would be shown here. Rest of the things would not be shown. Okay, and if I am to get them, definitely I need to see that how can I get into deeper aspects of this Unix programming, Linux programming, or even GCC compiler programming. Then only I can understand what exactly, where exactly the remaining bytes went. Even the address, like you might have heard about something called as binding. Now see, when there are numbers binded with us. When I generally get admitted to a hospital, I do get patient number, OPD number or IPD number, indoor patient, outdoor patient kind of, correct? At the time of birth, even we are identified by a number. That number is attached either wherever, like in a leg or something like this. Even after the death, on the body, some number is associated. Correct? So we are covered by it. So that means what? At that time, what is your number? What is the binding done for you? So this binding would be at the time when you write your code, nothing is binded. It is your the name that you use. OK, then comes compilation time, then linking time, and then execution time. So these three would be the different bindings. So when we compile, so this compilation also will have assembly time binding. So if I see, let us see these object codes. So if I write this I file, I cannot see any information there which is used for binding. So preprocessor doesn't do anything. So if I go to S, I can see that some information is always added because the size also is added there. Correct? For my code. Now if I try to use my variable, then things may change. Now if I try to see now object code, so I can see that object code using objdump-d pipe less. Now try to see where exactly your variables are. So this is ABC. ABC is having this function name address. OK, min is having this address 000. This is compilation time binding. After compilation means whole assembly and compilation process together will generate this address for main. Then see the organization main and then ABC, then PQR. And then if at all few things are. So even your variables are given numbers the way that we saw there 0, 4, 8. Correct? These are the numbers given which are associated. This M would be for you. System never knows what is M. It only knows this address. And every time you refer M, it would be referring to this number. I will show you that part as well. Fine. OK, so that's how the numbers are associated with the each part of code. Any question till this time? You may ask, please. What I showed you today, I showed you two commands. One was nm, which was used to list what you can call as the object code. Okay, the list of symbols included from the object code. Either it could be information about global variables or probably the functions, the identifier. So as on a whole, I don't discriminate between global variables, functions, everything would be identifier for us, everything would be symbol for us. And that's why it never discriminated that. So when we saw man nm, okay, yeah, man nm. So it said list symbols from object files. Has it said I'm talking about variables? I'm talking about function names? No. So when I wrote this object code name, I can see this. Like it never discriminated that, only discriminated with respect to the type they are representing, the part they belong to. Correct. Now, if I declare, like, let us see size for ch even. We forgot to check it. So read elf dash s a dot out. Now see ch. Can you see ch? You can see here 1. Size is 1 character. For a character, size is 1 byte. Correct. Now, if I take, say, for example, ch of 10. So now ultimately size should be 10. Let us see. See ch size got changed 10. And even your rest of the addresses got changed. Everything would be changed because it is that this is line number, by the way. Okay, or a serial number for that table information. Okay, now if I go with read elf dash s a dot out. Correct. This is the case. And if I write nm a dot out for ch, try to see where exactly it is. Let me write less. This is where ch is. So it says bss. Now you may see b. Correct. Capital B for block starting with symbol. Fine. Yeah. Any questions, please? Yes. So are you with me or you haven't understood anything? Only two reasons. Either you are with me, you are understanding everything, whatever I said. And second aspect might be whatever is happening, no idea what is happening there. Yes, please. Apeksha. Akhil. I hope you are there listening whatever I said and probably understood. Apeksha, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Understood whatever I said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ritika Borade.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm hoping you understood that. So anyway, like if you haven't, you may see this recorded session later too. Not a issue. Fine. Okay, good. Thank you very much. So in next session, we'll be talking about few more details about what exactly, like how exactly the information is passed. Okay, so we may have few sessions which would be kind of theoretical per se. Okay, I may not show everything practically for probably next session, but we will try to see like whatever I am saying, I should give you proof for everything, whatever I make a claim. Fine. So if I am making some claim, then that claim should be justified. Otherwise, what happens is